I'm reading a book by Nassim Taleb, which I think is quite interesting. So he's saying that when traders win big 5 years in a row, like meaning he's saying that there's a saying in finance which is said a lot that past performance is not an indicator of future performance. And I don't deeply understand trading, but Nassim Taleb is some guy that has made billions trading. And I think he was a mathematician by study, and he uses a lot of example which says that if a fund manager goes to him and tells him that his past performance is quite good and that you should invest in him, he's kind of skeptical because he thinks that he basically showed a Monte Carlo simulation, which is basically like it's like a mathematical simulation. I don't deeply understand what it is, but he's trying to model if you have 10,000 portfolio managers and each have 50% chance of winning 10k a year and 50% chance of losing 10k a year, you'll have at the end of the year, I think he said around 300 fund managers who win consistently 5 years in a row. They're making 5 years in a row money, and you think of those fund managers as being skilled and geniuses, when in actuality it was just luck, and the next year they just lose money, which I don't really tend to think about, but I think it's a little bit interesting, because I do feel like in society people do showcase winners in podcasts more than losers. Like you see the people who won the game of, I don't know, entrepreneurship or investing or like social media, but you don't see the countless thousands or millions of people who tried but didn't succeed, and they probably did the same thing. Like it's what is known as survivorship bias, meaning by only studying the winners, you fail to account for the losers of the game, and you're not actually learning as much because I think there's an example from World War II which people use is that they look at planes who survived, like bullets, and I think the example is that they looked at the plane and realized that they were shot there or whatever. Like I don't know what the actual example is. It's like they reinforced like the areas that were being shot, and they thought that it was good enough. When in actuality, if you had to look at the planes who crashed and died, they were being shot somewhere else. And so like reinforcing the area that was being shot wasn't actually useful. So you have to account for the losers of the game. I guess it does actually make sense. And the other mistake is thinking that people who won the game were extremely skilled, when in fact more than luck was attributed. And he also mentions that people who won the game don't really want to admit that it was luck that they won. So I think people have an ego thinking that they didn't get lucky. They think it's pure skill. But I think it probably makes them feel good to think that they got there through skill. I hear that a lot because they don't think they got lucky. They say they worked extremely hard, blah, blah. But there's like thousands of people who worked extremely hard who didn't win. So I don't think it's pure skill. But I think it's an interesting book. I don't know how correct Nassim Taleb is, but I did also ask AI and did some research on it to see if it's correct. But Taleb seems fairly smart, so I'm not sure.